Welcome back to CAN, Caribbean Affiliate News. My name is Siobhan Gobin. This segment of the news is sponsored by TravelSpan Vacations. Jamaica should not pull out of CARICOM over trade differences with Trinidad and Tobago, according to former St. Kitts and Nevis Agriculture Minister Cedric LeBird. Mr. LeBird is advocating discussions at the appropriate level to iron out the differences between these two leading CARICOM member states. And I quote, "No, I don't think that any CARICOM country should really consider pulling out of CARICOM," he told reporters. "All of us in the region do have our own concerns in some different ways in terms of how CARICOM and how we operate in the past, and sometimes some of us are not benefiting," the former agriculture minister said, adding that the solution is not abandoning the regional grouping. However, Foreign Affairs Minister A.J. Nicholson says a withdrawal would affect benefits under the CARICOM single market and economy that allows for the free movement of goods, skills, services, and labor across the community. University of the West Indies lecturer Dickie Crawford says there is bitter anger in Kingston because there are some trade benefits that Trinidad and Tobago derives from the CARICOM legislation that Jamaica does not. He says the government's position not to pull out of CARICOM is commendable. And I quote, "And there are people in the government of Jamaica who are proposing that we stay in CARICOM, and then they are willing to interface with the CARICOM heads of government and renegotiate the position," Crawford says. The Bahamas has formally established diplomatic relations with Qatar. The move was made official at a ceremony last week at Qatar's embassy in Washington, with Bahamian permanent representative to the OAS, Dr. Elliston Raming, signing for the Bahamas. The two countries have reportedly sought to establish ties since 2003, with the agreement finalized by Foreign Minister Fred Mitchell during a visit to Qatar earlier this year. A Bahamian government statement said a technical cooperation agreement would be negotiated for signature in short order. Qatari Ambassador to the United States, Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Ramahi, signed on behalf of Qatar. Raming invited the ambassador to visit the Bahamas, which could happen in September. Al Ramahi also visited Raming to visit Qatar this year. Haiti has a business environment that needs to be strengthened, the International Monetary Fund said following approval this week of a $7.4 million disbursement by its executive board. The move comes after the IMF completed the fifth review of Haiti's performance under the Extended Credit Facility arrangement, bringing total disbursements under the program to date of about $54.1 million. And I quote, "Accelerating the pace of structural reforms will be important to enhance competitiveness, safeguard external stability, and achieve higher and more inclusive growth," Shinohara said. Efforts should focus on enhancing the business environment, particularly by removing infrastructure bottlenecks, increasing transparency, and improving governance, and deepening financial intermediation. Haiti's ECF arrangement was approved in July 2010, along with full relief of its outstanding debt to the IMF of about $268 million. The relief, along with IMF financing, are part of what the fund called a broad international strategy to support Haiti's longer-term economic reconstruction plans following the devastating earthquake of January 12, 2010. But Haiti's performance under the program continues to be broadly satisfactory, according to Nayayuki Shinohara, IMF Deputy Managing Director and Acting Board Chair. And I quote, "Sound policies have contributed to safeguard macroeconomic and financial stability. However, economic activity remains subdued, reflected limited absorptive capacity, a business environment that needs to be strengthened, and frequent natural disasters." In Barbados, the Organization of American States has called for urgent action in addressing food security in the Caribbean. During a conference on food security and the economic implications held in Barbados this week, Assistant Secretary General Albert Ramdin has called for reforms in agriculture in the Caribbean, including increased public-private partnerships and renewed focus on research and development. Among the specific areas of concern, Ramdin cited the rising food import bill of the Caribbean, which now totals over $4 billion, and it is comparatively low agricultural output. He said food security has become one of the most actionable items of this era, raised at almost every major meeting, assembly or conference, including summits of the Americas and OAS General Assemblies. And I quote, 5 years ago we identified key challenges, the lack of entrepreneurship and investment, aging farmers, severe weather events, and antiquated practices. But I'm not sure we have acted enough to correct it. 5 years later, many of us are in the same position. While commending the government of Barbados for undertaking such a focused discussion, Ramdin described the food situation in the Caribbean as worrisome. He says the reality is that we simply do not have direct control over a significant percentage of our food supply, and we are increasingly vulnerable to every change or disruption in external production, he said. Pointing to a direct link between food security, development, poverty, social and political stability, he also urged governments to focus more strategic efforts and resources to increase growth in the sector by considering more public-private partnerships and examining the potential of dedicating more state land to agriculture. The OAS Secretary General called on governments to reinvest in research and development institutions and to rebuild agricultural traditions. He says we must be consistent in our efforts, ensuring there's a second generation of creative, technologically advanced farmers or growers. You are watching Caribbean Affiliate News. Stay tuned.
Mom let you take your car out.
This is awesome.
It's time to grow up.
You're crazy.
Little wildflower.
Go faster. Stop.
It'll all be alright.
I raised my son to be careful.
Hey, sweetie. Hey, Mom.
But just to be safe,
So don't you worry.
I got a Subaru.
Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Coleman Subaru, 1710 North Alden Avenue, Ewing, New Jersey, or ColemanSubaru.com.
5 million customers use Leica Mobile for affordable international mobile calls, connecting over 2.5 million mobile calls daily, helping our customers stay in touch with their loved ones, whether they be in Asia, Africa, Europe, or the rest of the world. Every 5 seconds, a new Leica Mobile customer joins our growing family, helping you to make affordable international calls across the world. Leica Mobile. Call the world for less.